anonymous letters written in by women in a much smaller community writing about their sexual fantasies.
So what did you find? Were you surprised?
In rereading Friday's book, I was surprised at how raunchy and illicit some of the fantasies were. Like, I assumed that because it was back then, and I think of back then as being in black and white, that they would be much more staid and less explicit. But then in our book, the thing that surprised me the most is the degree to which shame is still so prevalent for women, not just in whether or not they can talk openly with their partner about sex, but the idea of expressing a desire or for something different, to be done different, to receive pleasure in a way is, there's still a lot of shame around that.
So let's take a step back. You launched the project Dear Gillian and asked for submissions throughout social media, and you write, I'm curating a book of your anonymous letters to me, whoever you are, wherever you come from, whether you're 18 or 80, you sleep with men or women or non-binary individuals, or all or no one at all. I want to know your most personal desires. Let's open up the conversation together and create something revelatory. You received over 1,100 letters, 800,000 words.
Mm-hmm.
Were you surprised at the reception that your question, your reach out?
No, I don't. I think because of Jean Milburn and because of how I often present, predominantly on socials, I guess, that maybe we would get quite a few entries. What did surprise me, actually, was that we had so many people start to write, and not everybody finished their letters. So I think in the first short while we had something like 1,800 entries, and so there were quite a few non-completes. And I've always wanted to ask, was it cold feet? What we ended up receiving, hearing you read that is what we got from women around the world, and incredibly raw and honest and open and brave, and yeah, revelatory in a way.
That's on the cross. I'm thinking of the Madonna video, that image. Sex with sibling heirs to an art fortune, sex with Harry Styles, sex with a robot, Bigfoot,
tentacles.
How did you cull through what you ultimately were going to?
It was hard. It was really hard. At the beginning, the stack was like this, and we were going to start together so that we could have real-time experience of reading them, and that we have the same order. And it was taking so long because we'd stop, we were gasping, we'd stop and want to share, and let me read it, did you read this? And so we then decided to split it into sections. I'm sure there were many left on the table that were as good as the ones that have remained in the book that we had to then kind of return and destroy. That was part of the deal, was that anything that wasn't published would be destroyed, which is so sad. We didn't want pressure. It wasn't a creative writing course. We didn't want that pressure on the women who submitted. And you certainly get that from Nancy Friday's